Joseph was a strange man. His ungainly walk, his thin frame and pebble glasses gave the impression of a boffin, but he was only a humble computer clerk for the local community council. Joseph was a lonely man. Although just a computer clerk, he was very intelligent, but he found it very difficult to communicate with his fellow employees. And in the end, they all ignored him. This gave him an inferiority complex, and together with his shyness, meant he had no friends. Joseph had one big passion. He loved computers. He spent all his waking hours with them, not just at work, but also at home. He spent all of his spare income on computers and knew all there was to know about programming. His spare room was packed full of all the latest equipment, all state-of-the-art, and even some that he had built himself when his requirements couldn't be met by available technology. Joseph had a plan. All his life had been spent doing the bidding of others. Now he wanted to be in control, not just of his life, but of the world. His love of computers had become an obsession, taking all of his time and money. But slowly his plan started to take shape. He had decided to make his own world, and so every day he programmed his machines with information about all the factors that would control such a world. The weather, population, geology, ecology, environmental controls, in fact, anything that he thought might be useful. Once he had built his planet, he would inhabit it. So he spent more money on the latest virtual reality equipment, gloves, a helmet, and all the paraphernalia that went with it. One room of his house became his operations center. It had no windows, just 4 blank, soundproofed walls with one door. But in that room, he assembled all his equipment: computers, keyboard, screens, loudspeakers, and hooked it all up to his simulation gear. There was just about enough room left for a small fridge, cooking unit, and a few other essentials to cope with all his bodily needs. Joseph nervously opened the door into his new world. The last 9 months had been very exciting, but finally today was the day. He closed the door firmly behind him and walked over to his central computer. His fingers danced energetically over the keyboard as he started the program running. Then slowly he pulled on his virtual reality gloves, making sure all the connections were complete. He picked up the helmet and set it down over his head. Then, with one last look around the room, he clicked the visor into place. Joseph's computer-simulated hand stretched out toward the computer keyboard, and with a feeling of nervous excitement, he typed in the command: "Let there be light." And there was light.